This time on the infamous project.
Welcome back to the infamous project, guys. It is now the third day or third attempt of working on project FOXIDIZED here, sitting behind me. So if you guys haven't checked out the previous videos on this, make sure you go and check them out because, well, it's an interesting one. It's I don't know what I signed myself up for still. I'm still going through the motions, trying to warm up to this thing, trying to get an idea of what it's going to need or if it's even worth fixing. I think that's the biggest one. Is it even worth fixing? So it is after hours. I like to work on shit after hours. It allows me to take out my frustrations and to just not care as much and just whatever. So with the low expectations, things can only get better in reality. So you guys remember where we left off yesterday. I found out that there's non-existent floor pan on the passenger side here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that center console out, get the rest of the carpet all removed so we can actually see what the floor pan is looking like underneath there. You see I got a style bar sitting right here and it's just kind of sitting in place. I wanted to see how it would look in there. I think it looks pretty cool. We got to fix the rear windows so that they actually go down, so get rid of the shark fin look, and that should make things look a lot better. Got some fresh oil, FL1A filter, so we can actually change the oil in this thing. So it is a little windy, good for a time lapse because that way you guys get to listen to music and not the wind blowing through the microphone. So let's get at it, get this console out, get this carpet out, and hopefully I'm going to take the fuel pump out. We'll take a look inside the fuel tank and see how things are looking in there. And Project FOXIDIZED, here we go. All right, the carpet's out. By the way, I just realized I'm wearing one of my new t-shirts, Built Not Bought, and I partnered up with Triple OG. I've loved their stuff, been supporting them for years, and I just reached out and I said, hey guys, what do you think about doing a little bit of a collab? Because they have one that's like earned, not given. And I was like, man, we need some Built Not Bought stuff up in our community. So we've done it, we've launched it. There's Triple OG, you got TIP. Go get yours on my website. Again, I don't plug stuff very often, but you are supporting the channel when you do buy stuff off my site. So looking down in here, folks, great opportunity for the floorboard to air out, dry out, if you will. This is actually pretty solid back here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, probably going to need torches to get rear seat bolts, get access to those. I can probably get away with a little patch here. Now, this is the sound deadening. I'm going to have to check from underneath, but if I remember correctly, I think it's okay under there. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Are you really even that surprised when these are the seats that came out of the car? Let's be honest with ourselves. I got an extra passenger side floor pan from Jane's car. Actually, I got metal out of this car too. I think the passenger side on this one might actually have a little bit of rust. So the driver's side though might be able to cough up some material for over there. So we'll cut and patch, make work what we need to. I'll be getting that factory H-pipe off and selling the catalytic converters off. In fact, oh shit, I should be careful here because those are our fuel lines. And the fuel lines actually look Okay, so speaking of fuel lines, it's kind of the second part of today's adventure that I wanted to focus on. As if you guys saw the first video, you would have seen that somebody got crafty up in here and cut / popped the fuel line off. And I might actually be able to work with this depending on the condition of the tank. So let's see, try and keep those somewhat out of the way. I vacuumed out around the pickup unit of the fuel pump here. Gonna pop off the snap ring, and we'll take a look inside and see what we're working with. That's it. There we go. Vacuum. All right, I can smell old fuel. Oh geez, guys. Oh, I wonder if you guys can even see that. Woo. I think it's safe to say as clean as that fuel pump looked. Look at how swollen the rubber and everything else is. Oh my God. Can you see that? This tank is absolutely disgusting. Wow. Absolutely gross, guys. I'm actually going to put this back in to keep the smell down to a minimum. So yeah, absolutely disgusting. So we need a new tank on order, and yeah, hopefully we can flush out the lines, save the lines. We'll disconnect them in the front, flush everything through. It's about the little things, guys. Like, I know I just kind of set that style bar in there without bolting it, without, you know what I mean, taking much time. It was literally just grabbing it from the garage and sticking it on. But just seeing that was motivating, and it motivated me to do the rest of the disgusting stuff that I did, like pull out this absolutely gross carpet. So with that said, always try and find little things that motivate you to keep going with your project. You see something cool, something that inspires you, keeps you, motivates you, pushes you to keep going with that persistence. And that's ultimately how you can push and get your project done. Hopefully we can get the fuel system sorted. We'll change the oil and go through a few things. And I'm telling you guys, like, as much as I want to bolt the other wheels on, I think we got to do a serious burnout on what's left of these tires. Try and put a bit more air in them, and hopefully the tires don't blow until we can get that burnout done. All right, another hot afternoon. Thankfully we're in the shade. 108 degrees at 5:30 p.m. is what the lightning had on my overhead console, and it's pretty accurate. So here we are, and I got a couple parts here today. I've got a fuel tank with a pump and a pickup that was all functional, and there's even fuel in this thing. Not very much, enough that I'm not going to curse trying to lift it up in there by myself. But we got a fuel tank. So I could probably jack this car up, and two things. See sort of what it looks like underneath the back there, and drop the tank out. The only thing, I don't know if I want to bolt this tank up right away or not, because the wheel well is like rotted right out of it, right? So who am I kidding? We'll bolt it in. We'll just cover that thing off. Lewis is like, cut the inner tire well out of that one, and you know what I mean? Well, maybe I can still do that. Anyways, guys, let's see what will happen. Got a passenger side floor pan sitting here. So I got this for Jane's car before I realized that Jane's car was too far gone. And you'll have to excuse me because some of you guys might not even know what I'm talking about because that video might not even be out yet. Long story short, 1988 notch 4-banger thing, Michigan car, completely rotted right out. So I bought some metal for it, not realizing how bad the car actually was. And well, here we go. Hopefully we can repurpose this guy for in here. I got all this shit in here, so whatever, that's all good. You guys get the idea. But check out this find. $100 on Marketplace, local to me, 15 minutes down the road. And funny enough, I actually saw this a couple months ago. It was posted up for 250 bucks. They're like, oh yeah, no, have this sitting. Didn't fit right on the car. And if you guys look really close, you're like, well, where the hell is the surround that goes from here up and across the headlights? So pretty much this piece, where's that at? That doesn't exist. So I thought this was going to be like an old ABC exclusive, you know, shitty fiberglass knockoff. Guys, this thing is actually some beefy urethane. I don't know who made it. There you go. Stay key. That's sort of what it looks like, right? Stay key, stocky. But yeah, so I'm thinking, because this bumper is so messed up, there we go. What do we think? Obviously everything's sticking out wide and stuff, but you know, maybe I can spray it, primer, get some blue paint, try and bring the paint pinstripe in. Then I can just cut this here and I don't know, do a little zip tie stitch or something. Let me know what you guys think of this. We should rock it, find a way to make this work, or stick with the completely, like, guys, this one I was just going to take self-tapping screws, but like, look, the actual molding part, it's actually ripped in 2 places, right? So I could screw it all up, you know, something like that. I don't know, I think the stocker front, you know, I got it for $100, probably make things look a little bit more aggressive. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let's get jacking this thing up and we'll crawl underneath it and see what we're working with here. And I gotta say, this hitch assembly is actually done quite well, like bolted right up to the frame there. And you guys can see this frame is not rotted at all. The frame is solid. You know, it doesn't look like it's scaly. Don't get me wrong. Kind of reminds me underneath the Super Noof car before we sprayed it down with the bubble gum. But frame rails are good. The cherry bomb is definitely not. So other than fixing those few spots in the floor pan, as we get this car up more and some more light, you know, we'll share a little bit more in depth with you guys. But this is honestly not bad at all. This is interesting though. This bushing's pretty much right out of the diff. That side looks more appropriate. Can't say I've ever seen that before. I'll tell you one thing though, it friggin' stinks under here. Let's see if I can actually get these bolts out. There we go. Not as bad as I thought it would be. Oh, it stinks. All right, guys, here is the tank. Oh, it just reeks. Like, oh, God, does it ever stink. The best way to get rid of it, to be honest, is to I guess I can sort of try and seal it up, but I was gonna say dump it. I'd say I could kill some of the weeds around here, but there's not much alive, so yeah, pouring it out's not gonna help any. So I'm just gonna plug it up with whatever I got here. Hopefully we can slide this guy in. Let's take a look here. Surprise, this tire is even held in there. Okay, so gonna probably have to reinforce this some. So, oh god, guys, look at the filler neck. I can't use this filler neck. Look, it's rotted. Damn. Is there a filler neck here? Oh, I took the box out of this car, I think. Oh, I see the filler, or is that an exhaust pipe? Damn it. What I just found. That. Not too bad. Spray this out with some brake clean, get it all situated. Let's pop the magic door open. There we go. And I believe those are 10mm. So get the filler neck swapped. I kind of don't want to put the tank in, but I do want to put the tank in, right? I'm trying to think here. Like, if I put the tank in, then I'm gonna have to take the tank out to repair things. However, if I don't get the tank in and I don't get the car running, seeing if it's moving under its own power, like, I don't want this to get into a situation where I don't want it to be like the first ship box, is kind of what I'm saying, guys. Like, I'm hopeful that if geez, look at that, didn't even notice this line, it just melted. Well, that's pretty impressive. So yeah, anyways, guys, all right, just had a squirrel moment there. So I think the important thing is to see if we can get this thing running off the fuel system, driving, moving underneath its own power. And if those things can happen, then we sort of know we can invest the time and efforts into cutting, welding, grinding, painting, doing all those types of things. Let me go grab my 10mm, we'll swap out the filler neck and get this tank jammed in. I am gonna have to press on a return line, because if you guys remember, this guy here, I don't know if they just couldn't get it off properly or what, but let me go get a fitting for that. We'll get that sorted out so that way we can actually do some return stuff, and we'll see what we're working with. In, fuel tank is back in. almost gives us the illusion that there's a floor in the spare tire wall here, although we know there is not. My brand new fittings, quick connect fittings, are on there. And now, time to get a new fuel filter on. Very important. So there was actually no filter in the car when I looked underneath there. So I had that on the shelf, 2 new clips, spray a little bit of WD-40 on the fittings for the O-rings. Oh, by the way, I got that tailpipe out while I was underneath here. Guys, it's a friggin' disaster. Clip is on. There we go. Clip is on. Gear clamp is still in good shape. So the only thing that I'm not sure of, I don't know why they tapped that into there. It's really just, I don't know. I feel like either A, this guy is busted, or they didn't have the relays hooked up, or God knows what. Oh, let me get a sip of beer. Need the priorities. All right, so let's disconnect our main fuel line here. Oh, it's coming. Yes. All right, guys, exactly what I wanted. So here's our main fuel line. I just chugged my beer for the sake of this exercise. Okay. All right, so there's our relay. So let's see if we plug this in. Okay. The keys here. Of course, we're not trying to start. Just want to try and prime the pump. Okay, so this is actually clicking. And that connection isn't on all the way. Okay, we have it. There we go. A little bit of a connection issue there. Oh, you guys heard that, right? Hopefully we'll get some fuel out of our Miller can here in a second. Still not priming. Now this tank could be low. Might not actually be grabbing fuel, but let me prime it a couple more times. Oh, okay, we've got fuel. We've got a lot of fuel. Okay. Let's take a look. Right, guys, don't pollute your environment. This is just for, it looks pretty good. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pop the other line out, and I'm going to see if we can get it to go all the way through the rail, and if there's some bad stuff in the rail, let's see if we can get it pushed through now. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. I cannot believe those injectors just fired. We are running off the car's own fuel system, folks. We have to try and get a belt on here so that we can bypass the pollution pump. Actually, let me shut it off. Whew. Fumigating some stuff back here. Let me get the car back down on the ground, and let's see if this car is going to move underneath its own power. So it'll give the GoPro an opportunity to cool down, and we'll see if this thing will roll. Maybe I can drive it around so I can actually put some air on the tires, because tires are flat. See here. Oh, fire's right up. Okay, we have no brakes, so we need to keep that in mind. Oh. Ooh. It wanted to move. All right. There you go. What do you guys think? Moved under its own power. Gonna fill this tire up, and then we'll see about getting the proper belt, get some coolant in here. Oh yeah. I'm sure the lower intake gas gets out of it. Whew. Anyways, guys, there we have it. That's going to be it for today. I'm going to fill the tire up. Hopefully reverse works, otherwise the car is going to sit right here and not go anywhere else. In fact, I really hope this car doesn't catch on fire. Should be okay. Whew. Lower intake manifold gasket must be out of it, guys. So oh yeah, I can hear it sizzling off the exhaust and dripping on the ground. Well, I'm gonna leave this one right here, guys. I don't need anything catching fire. Really don't. It's hot out here in Texas. It's dry. It's the perfect recipe for a small disaster. I'll throw a piece of cardboard underneath the car so I don't get too much oil on my driveway. And I'll move the car once it's cooled down. Not taking any chances here. So I got to go record a podcast with Gary from Castle Customs. If you guys haven't heard the rolling of my 5.0 podcast, make sure you check in Spotify, Apple, Pods, whatever it might be, all that good stuff. And until next time, we'll see you back here with Project FOXIDIZED.